welcome back to Leopard Garage. I'm going to work on this rusty, junky C10 just a little bit more before I jump back on my 55. And I have a couple other side jobs that must get done as well. But I'm eager to get back on that, but it's just not working out right. So I've done just a little to this truck off camera. I had a little spare time, or I was bored or something, but I did pressure wash it. I did clean the inside out. A lot less rust in here than I would have guessed. Although, I don't know if it would have been much longer before things went completely disastrous. So, I do have a couple holes, you see right there. Got one right here. The kick panel's a little bit cruddy. And that side over there is not as bad. Everything else, very treatable. Got a little rocker rust there. Obviously, knew about the door. But there's more floor in here than I would have guessed. So, I'll probably patch that floor. There's a couple cabs out here in inventory. So I'll probably patch the floor. Maybe that piece up there at the toe board. I don't know. I don't know how I'll patch it. Maybe the right way, may or may not be the wrong way. I don't know. As far as the front, I did pressure wash, like I said, other than those cat prints. Mixed up a coat of paint and pretty much just hosed most everything down black. It just looks better, you know, one color. So tonight, I ended up ordering the new master cylinder, new calipers, new pads, which, looking at those pads, I probably could have just rode it out a little bit. I don't know. If those new pads don't look no better than that, then I'll send them back. And then I was gifted, I don't know if I told you this or not, but the drums, the shoes, wheel cylinders, all the hardware, everything's new. And these rear brakes right here, my buddy switched his son's truck to disc. Those came off and they were just laying around. So I'm just gonna pull backing plates and all. I want to take a peek in this rear end anyway and see what's in there, see what the gear ratio is, and well, just in general take a peek. So we'll pull the C-clips out, slide the axles out, just change the backing plates and all. But I've got to get this freaking wheel off, and it will not come off. I've heated it. I've soaked it with PV Blast. I beat this thing with the dead blow. You can see the red marks on it. I beat that thing with the dead blow hammer until I could not hold on to that hammer anymore. Like, I don't know what the deal was. And I assumed the passenger or the driver's side was going to do the same thing. So I gave it my best Jose Canseco and hit the tire. Well, the tire wasn't stuck. It flew off the truck, hit me in the leg. I tripped over the tire. Well, there I was, laying on the carport. So, too bad I don't have video of that. But this one, on the other hand, so the only thing I can think of is I have a scissor jack in the Impala for emergencies. I guess I'm just going to take the scissor jack and put it between the leaf spring and the tire and just try to push it off. That's the best thing I can think of. But tonight, I'm going to try to get the brake lines loose to the brake hoses here inside the frame. So here and right here, right there. So we're going to try to get those loose. That way I can change the hoses. I didn't buy hoses. I have the hoses that I took off the OBS truck. And then I have a pretty good selection of stainless braided lines. It may end up with stainless braided lines because, honestly, brake hoses were $28 a piece. I can't understand why a rubber hose would be 28 bucks. So on that, I'm just going to use what I had. I was going to reuse a master cylinder that I've had laying around for ages, but for 50 bucks, I mean, it is the brake system, and I will probably have, you know, a friend or family in this truck. So maybe I'll save all the leftover parts that they won't be so critical, like stopping is, you know. So, all right, I guess step one, let's see if we can get these brake hoses loose. All right, Uncle Al, you left your light. So we're gonna borrow it. Set this right there. That thing's got several high beams. So finally bought a torch. I don't know how long I've lived without having one of those. I'm just going to prepare the fact that we're going to have to put some vice grips on this thing to hold the line. And I also didn't get anything to take that loose, but we'll worry about that when I get the actual brake line loose. Brake fluid's leaking on me. All right, 7/16, 3/8 line wrench. Let's just gently pull on it and see what happens. All right, absolutely nothing. I'm gonna heat this up a little bit. Shoot a little sauce, make it smell bad. Mess up my new paint job. Now I should have been saucing these all week long. All right, it's spinning in the line, but or it's spinning in the hose, but it looks like this thing flip around. But it looks like the tube. Can't see that either. There we go. But it looks like the nut is stuck on the actual brake tubing. All right, I'm gonna hit this with a little more. Let me take my wrench off there. I wish I'd have got a hammer and a punch. Could kind of shock that thing sometimes and it'll knock it loose. There we go. All right, so it is spinning. What do I do with the sauce? Anybody seen the sauce? Here it is. Go to the open end wrench. Definitely got that baby hot. All right, I'm gonna move to this side. I'm gonna do the same thing. Hopefully, don't have no hiccups. Kind of surprised, but that one came out too. So I kind of want to get I definitely want to get the brake system buttoned up on this thing before I put a motor in it. That way, it gives me a couple of times I can really stand on the pedal and see if there's a hole somewhere. No motor in there, no transmission, and I can easily get to these lines. So, well, we can move on to the calipers, pull the rotors, check the bearings. I did not get wheel seals, so I might have to get those.
Competition Products, your source for hardcore engine parts for street, strip, and oval track. Our free catalog is packed with hundreds of product lines from the best-known manufacturers in the performance industry. Lowest prices guaranteed. Free shipping and handling on all orders over $149 in the continental U.S. Need expert advice? Our knowledgeable staff is just a phone call away. Competition Product, race parts sold by racers since 1970.
So I dug in my hoard. I made a valiant attempt, or I made an effort here. I've got lots of braided brake hoses. bunch of brake fittings, and then the OBS Chevy truck hose. I tried it. It's just not bent the correct way. And I'll be honest with you, bending that thing enough is just probably a bad idea. So that's back to trying to use a 30-year-old, 40-year-old master cylinder. Probably just better off just buy the right ones. But speaking of my hoard, so everybody tells me I hoard parts. Well, I don't really think I hoard parts because you never know when you'll need something. And this right here is a prime example of you just never know. So watch this short little clip, and I'm going to spray some stuff down with some PB Blast, and we'll get back to it. Alright, I'm not sure how I'm going to use this video or what video I'm going to throw it in there, but Monday morning at about 6:15 in the morning, I just said that, Monday morning. Anyway, 6:15 a.m., I got a text. I just got a text. How ironic is that? But I get a text from Brian, Real World Garage, down in Mississippi. I don't remember where. Anyway, Mississippi. Him and his son are doing a small block swapped S10, 327, and they were just kind of eyeballing it, gaskets, things, making sure it's sealed up good before they put the motor in. Well, had the oil pan off, decided to take a peek inside there, and what they found was not pleasant, but it was one of those things where like, whew, glad we looked. So he messaged me. I'm not sure how long they've been looking, but he messaged me Monday morning telling me about that, sent me some pictures, and was like, we can't find a 327 crankshaft anywhere. Do you know anybody that has one? So, a lot of people say that I hoard parts, that I have a hoard. I don't have a hoard because some of these people on YouTube have a much more extensive, awesome collection than I do. But I do tend to collect crap. I happen to have a 327 crankshaft that I will probably never ever use. And I have most of a 327 that I will probably never ever use as well. So, I told him I'd dig this thing out, we'd take a look at it. I feel pretty sure that this crank is very usable. At the most, it can be turned 10 because his crank is already 30-30. That's a lot. That's a lightweight crank at that point. So we're gonna go in the Connex, see if I can lay hands on this thing. If I can, and it looks good, then I'm putting it in a box. Oh, I gotta find the box. I'm gonna find the box, and we're gonna mail this thing out. Alrighty, located a box, got a flashlight, got my keys. It's raining and it's cold. Let's go see if we can find the weather's keeping me from working on this thing. Well, that, it ran out of gas. So that's really keeping me from doing anything. Alright, never unlocked this thing one-handed, so I ain't sure how this is gonna go. Let me stick you to the Connex. Alright, I probably could have cut the lights on. Probably should have moved this four-wheeler. Pretty sure I can. Let me just try to climb over all this. Not as graceful as I once was, but I'm as clumsy as a... Alright, I don't know where my flashlight went. Glad the four-wheeler was there because it kind of broke my fall. Alright, there's the camera. Let me get my phone out because I don't know where my flashlight's at. Oh, there it is. I was standing on it. Thought it was the darn air hose. That was fun. Turn this off. This way. Alright. Can't see. It's like Blair Witch. Alright, we'll just do this. I fell over something else. Alrighty. There it is. Pretty sure It's either that one or there's an LS crank around here somewhere. Pretty sure. No threads in the snout. I don't believe it's threaded, but I definitely know that's the 327 cranking shaft. So just by, I mean, you can tell it was in the car a little while, but I don't really feel nothing. A little something right there would probably be polished out. I don't know what's going on there. Definitely looks better than what he's working with. I'm pretty sure those bearings were standard, but I'll tell you what, let me get us out of here because it looks like Blair Witch, and we'll discuss this crankshaft. Hopefully I can run this gauntlet and not fall down again, so hang in there. Well, I wondered what I got hung up on, and it'd be that guy right there, because it hung on my shoestring, and well, down I went. So, but yep, now I have to cross the four-wheeler with the crankshaft. So let me put the camera down before I drop the crankshaft. All right, I found the perfect box that's not going to work. This thing's a little big. I was like, man, it'll be fine. I'll just pack it full of stuff. But then I'd have to peel all this off, and then they may not believe me that it doesn't have a lithium-ion battery in it. If you ever go through the post office, that's like the first thing they ask you. So we're going to build a box. Lord, I hope this crank's still in the box by the time it gets to Mississippi. It will fit. So my cow panels came in this box, and then I just got some competition product stuff in today, so I chopped that box up, and we built a box in a box with a floor in a box. And then I'm going to add a few more pieces just for good measure as a floor. And then they ship that much plastic with those cow pieces. I guess, I don't have a clue why, but then I got a bunch of paper from Comp Products, and then I got that box I can chop up, and we'll pack this baby. Oh, we'll go ahead and send him a shirt too. I gave him one shirt a while back. All I have is XL, so we'll put a shirt in there, and send some Comp Products catalogs. There's 2 new catalogs. Comp Products, give them a call. 1-800-233-0199. Extension 455. Talk to Larry. So, let's see if we can get this crankshaft in there. All right, we'll put that in last. Put the crank in the bag. Snuggins a bug in the rug that way. The catalogs will probably get the crap beat out of them, so let's put that one in right there. Maybe this one right here. Hopefully the shirt survives the ride. It's the Left 4 Dead Garage shipping department. Let's cram some plastic in there. Maybe I should have put some of that stuff on the bottom. Yeah. Because the only tape I got is going to straight hillbilly this thing up to no end. And it is black Gorilla tape. So, no shipping tape. So I used it all last time I mailed something. Lord have mercy, I've got to mail them stickers out. I can't remember to do that to save my life. Look at that, like a glove. Maybe these should go in first. Let me even put those like that. Oh, here's another catalog, and you don't need the directions to the weed eater. Oh. Well, we're about to white trash this right up. Figure maybe if I just tape the original tape, it might be all right. Jethro Bodine is mailing out crankshafts, apparently. All right, Brian, I got your bundle of joy all packaged up here. We'll haul it to USPS in the morning and see what this thing's gonna cost to ship. Hopefully it won't be too bad, but I guess if you can't find one, then if it's 80 bucks or better, then it's probably still worth having. But I'll call you. But that's one of the reasons why I keep some of the junk I keep, because you never know when somebody might need something. Like the other day, a buddy of mine texted me, "Hey, do you have a 350 transmission and 350 motor?" Yes, I do. So now I don't, if you get what I'm saying here. So got some junk out of the way, getting more junk out of the way. Let's get this stuff shipped off. All right, let's see if we can get this caliper off. I'm gonna stick it right here, and I guess probably about as good a time as any to go in and get the wheel seals and pack the bearings. And I may look into having the rotors turned while I'm at it. I think O'Reilly's does that. I'm not 100% sure. I know you probably think, oh, you work at a machine shop. Well, not that kind of machine shop. We do not have a brake lathe. However, if I wanted to spend a bunch of time and waste a bunch of time, I could probably turn them on the manual lathe one side at a time, but I am not doing that. I probably could have used the ratchet. While I had this apart, it would be a prime time to do drop spindles. But that ain't really in the funds. So that means I'll probably just have to take all this crap back apart to do drop spindles later on. So yeah, those pads are pretty well shot. So I'm glad I bought some. I gotta get this dust cap off, pull this rotor, and that way I can get a seal number. Get it off of this without mangling it up. Oh, it's coming right out. You know, I mean, I'm right here. I'm looking right at everything I'm going to have to take apart to do drop spin. I mean, I know I'm going to lower this thing, and I'm right here. So close. But I'm so poor. Well, I think the best thing to do is just wait. We'll just have to do it twice. Because instead of drop spindles, unless I find a deal on some, I need things like a radiator, gaskets for my motor, things of that sort. So we'll just visit this one more time together. Bearings look alright. Backside's still saucy. Grease looks clean. So I believe what I'm going to do is I'm going to jam some grease in this back bearing. Let me put some grease in this bearing and bearings. We'll slap this thing back together. We'll mount the caliper. I guess I'll order some brake lines, or hoses, brake hoses. These new calipers came with pins. Super greasy. And I need to run these old calipers back from a cord. From a cord charge. Alright, that's how it goes. There ain't much pad, there ain't much friction material on these things, I'll tell you that. Where's the spring clip at? What am I supposed to do? Reuse the old one? Alright. There we go. Alright, I guess we reuse the old one then. To get some brake lines ordered, brake hoses ordered. Well, clearly I'm not turning those rotors now that I realize that I put it back together. I got $36 worth of cores to return, so we just apply that towards some brake hoses, right? Alright, just a rinse and repeat on the other side. I won't make you suffer through it, but I'll get to something new. We'll jump back into it. So tonight, I'm going to attempt to get this wheel off this thing. We'll pull the diff cover and C-clips out of the rear end, pull the axles out, and fingers crossed that those backing plates from a 10 bolt will bolt right to a 12 bolt. Pretty sure they will, but with my luck, they won't. So step one, let's get this wheel off. All right, let's see if I can get this little scissor jack thing in here. I want to roll this thing kind of funny. It's hard to get the jack. All right, we're gonna get violent. As long as I don't hit the dang impala. Here we go. All right, let's see what's behind door number 1 here. Well, I'm glad I grabbed a 1/2 inch because I said 9/16 a while ago. Hopefully we can get all these. Well, that thing broke off. Little stud. All right, I'm gonna put one of these back in just so the cover don't fall. All right. Open diff 373. Open diff 308. That's my guess. Well, the grease looks good. So no complaints about that. I ain't seen no chunks of anything important come falling out. Ooh. That is a really thin ring gear. Sometimes they stamp these ring and pinions. Oh yeah, it is open diff. I didn't mention that, but it clearly is. So we'll be taking all this out so we can get the axles to slide out. Just pull the spider gears out of it. And it is a 12 volt. Oh, there's some info. What we got here? You got a date of 7/73. And if I was a betting man, that 14, I can't get the breakdown to roll the other way. That 1443 right here, that's my guess on the gear ratio. So let me get my calculator and we'll figure that out. You take the old 43, which is your ring gear, divide that by 14, comes out 307. So that's more than likely the ratio, which is not great, but I guess it's better than a 273. Or in Larry's El Camino's case, a 240 something, which that thing's set up for Bonneville. All right, well, I'm just gonna let this thing drip dry for a few minutes and come in from that side over there, and we get ready to pull these axles out. We'll need to take this pin bolt out and then carrier pin, and then all the giblets will fall out. Hopefully these drums will come off, but I guess if I'm pulling the road and axles and all, they will come off. All right, I'll get back to you. All right, I'm gonna try to use a ratchet and get this loose. Probably have to get a wrench. Maybe not though. Oh, that thing was insanely loose. I'll tell you what's awful, which I'll talk about it when I get done here. I ain't even gonna mention it right now. What's bad is when this pin breaks off in that carrier, you are in a world of hurt then. My 2005 GMC did that, and I had to torch the diff out. Let's see. Pin's just gonna slide right out of there. got a towel. Here we go. Lay the pin there. Walk the spider gears right out by turning one axle. And they'll come right out. And I'm just going to stack these on this towel like this. This one means it's on the top of the carrier, and that one means it's on the bottom. There are some washers in there, but they'll be all right. All right, then you want to, I don't know if you can see that or not, but we got to get those C-clips out. I got to find the light. So you pull the axles in, that C-clip will just fall right out of there. Same way with this side over here. Pull the axle in. That one don't want to move, does it? What's the deal? Break my screwdriver off. Didn't break it, did I? No. Let me give it a kick. Sometimes that'll do it. That's odd. Huh. I wonder if something's up with this brake drum and it's not letting me push the axle in like it's supposed to, because this side was pretty rusted up. Let me give this one a good smack with the hammer and see what happens. Oh, why didn't you tell me it was ready to come out of there? Did it fall out? Yeah, there it is. All right. So we'll take this side gear off. All right, I'm gonna lay this one. I got dirt all over these diff gears, but it'd be all right. Clean them up. I'm gonna make sure these spider gears go back where they're supposed to go too, so lay these out here where I'll know. Oh, and this brake line over here, it actually did come loose. Believe that or not, I don't. I gotta remove the e-brake line, but I'm gonna jump to this side and get the brake line loose and the e-brake, and then we'll go ahead and pull these backing plates. So let me knock that out. Well, believe it or not, the brake lines right here actually came loose too, so maybe I can get that frame mount to hose loose. I'll go ahead and shoot a little sauce on it. Let that marinate maybe. Next, we're gonna pull these backing plates. I got the e-brake cable disconnected. Let me stick you up here and let's see if we can pull this backing plate off, and we will compare it to the 10-bolt stuff. Before I put all this garbage back together, I'm gonna put axle seals in this thing. Which one are we on? I was on the wrong one. Alright, let's keep up with all the hardware here. Alrighty. Is there something else holding this on? That just came off. They do. Yeah. All right. I'm just going to take the other ones and set it on there. I'd like to clean all this up before I commit to it. All right, this one's got stained a little bit with some gear oil, but we'll soak that down with some brake cleaner. Look at that. Perfect. Yeah, I don't need to clean that up. Let's just bolt them on there. So, I'd like to give a big thanks to my buddy Chad for donating some leftover brake equipment here. Lost my socket. Chad and Wyatt for that matter, because, well, came off Wyatt's truck. There's absolutely nothing wrong with free 99. Matter of fact, I need to check on that crankshaft that I mailed to Brian, because it made it to Jackson, Mississippi in 2 days. So it left on Saturday. I can't keep up this socket. It left on Saturday and made it to Jackson on Tuesday, or Monday, I'm sorry. It's supposed to have been delivered Tuesday. It's now Friday, and it's who knows where it's at. I believe this socket's about wore out. Alrighty, a little bit of brake cleaner, clean up the goo, and we'll change these axle seals, which I need to pop one of these out and get the number. And we'll have the brakes done. We need to put the rear end back together. Oh, and there is one little thing that I need to add in that I might have splurged on. So just for ha-has and my own personal entertainment, and the fact that you don't get to see me beat on anything I own. Like, I feel kind of bad about doing the burnout with Uncle Al's wagon. It's not my car, although it was very fun. Don't get me wrong. That thing gets down. So what I'm trying to say is, you will see me abuse this truck. So what I've got here, well, I bought a mini spool. So, hope you like them spinning tires or whatever it is Joe Dirt says. So we're going to do a little mini spool installation. Don't need to worry about what side those side gears go in, do we? Because this bad boy takes place of those side gears on the axle side. And also, the whole spider gear assembly can just leave town. We'll throw it in this box just in case I decide to go back civilized and put open diff back in it. But yeah, so that should be fun. I'm going to wrap it up tonight. I need to get inside and get ready to make the trip in the morning. So we'll get back to it later. All right, let's get this mini spool put in here so I can get this rear end sealed up. 6 months from now, remind me why these axle seals are leaking, because I was too cheap to go spend $11 on axle seals. So we're just going to put our faith in these seals from 1973 that seem to still be soft, but just remind me later. I wish I had removed this spare tire and or jacked this thing up a little bit higher. All right, should have got another flashlight while I was up. Typically don't like welded diffs or spools, but in this case it's just a goof around toy kind of thing, so I don't really think it matters much. Here's where a helpy helper would be good to push that axle shaft. I got the shaft inside the gear there. I'm gonna pry it forward, or in rather, it ain't really a forward. Pry it in. All right, I did read somewhere, I'm pretty sure, unless I just dreamed this up, that you gotta grind these clips so they'll go in the slot. Because I don't believe you can pull the axle in far enough. Put that C-clip on. Might have to go to the old Google. That's a lot of grinding, bud. Luckily, I do have some new C-clips in there, so if I do muff these up, well. All right, the driver's side actually fell right together, so that's what I had to do to get it to work. And then, which shouldn't hurt anything because it sits down in that slot there. Well, I guess you can remind me of that when it spits the axle out. So let me get this passenger side axle shaft in, and put you over here where you can see what I'm working on. I'll get this thing buttoned up. All right, I'm not running those washers. I don't know why. I just decided I didn't. But I wasn't. All right, it's gonna get tight in here. Push the shaft back so I can get the side block thing in the carrier. Let me roll it around so I get my hand at the top and the bottom. What's wrong here? All right, there we go. Just a little snug of a fit. All right, we'll take the C-clip, dirt and all. Let's wipe that off. And slide it in there. I can't see what I'm doing, but and it's in there. So now we'll take this here block that's got dirt all over it too. Pretty sure it goes as well as this fits. I don't think I could have got it together with those side gear shims. That's dirty now. Alright, so I'm going to try to hold that together. Get this one slid in there. And that bevel, you see that? That'll be the outside of the carrier. Because then you'll spin this whole assembly like so. Then reuse your center pin. Then you'll line your pin up with your pinhole bolt pinhole, whatever it's called, retaining pin bolt thing that breaks off in the carrier and will ruin your day. And I'm gonna put a little Loctite on this bad boy. I'll be right back. A little dab of Loctite here. Might have to push it back some to get that thing to line up right. There we go. And that is how we're going to spin 2 tires on the cheap and do good donuts. And hopefully not spin it out in the rain on the on-ramp to the highway. I'm sure there's a torque on this. I do not know it, so we're going with tight. All right. Hopefully that'll work. All right, so that is one installed mini spool. Same with any GM 10 bolt, 12 bolt. So I guess I'll wrap it up. I did get the brake lines in, or the brake hoses, keep doing that. I've not got the center one from the frame loose yet, so hopefully that'll work. But I ain't worried about installing those right now. You kind of see me take them loose, so it just goes back together that same way. With that being said, thanks for watching Left 4 Dead Garage, and we will see you on the next one.